I'm Jammer, and today I want to talk about something that's been just spewing a battlefield across the internet. The Splatoon 2 Direct just finished up just the other day, talking about a lot of new features and stuff coming in. The biggest reveal towards the end was that there would be a new iteration of the Squid Sisters, this time being the Off the Hook group, or sisters, just Off the Hook is their name, I guess, being two new members of Marina and Pearl. And obviously there's already a split in debate, Team Marina versus Team Pearl. And there is an obvious choice to that question, just so you know. But the point of this video is a lot of people, including myself at first, I was very, I don't know, kind of bummed that the Squid Sisters, Callie and Marie, got kind of replaced in Splatoon 2. And I kind of want to just talk about that and these new characters, and yeah. So like I previously just said, when I first saw it, it was kind of sweet and sour at the same time. I saw the two new sisters, and I was really hyped. I was like all for the new concert music. It was fantastic. But at the same time, I kind of realized, like, oh man, I just realized that Callie and Marie are now no longer being the focus of the Splatoon 2 news updates and stuff like that, and what it looks like is they're going to be more exclusive for the story player mode, which again actually kind of makes sense, and I don't know why I never thought of it that way, because if you think about it this way, I mean, there is no Captain Cuttlefish to initiate the story mode, the person who waits at the grate. It's going to be Marie every time, and how could she be there but also be doing the news updates at the same time? And then as far as Callie, as far as we know, we don't know where she is. She doesn't exist. She's off hidden somewhere. More than likely, she is probably a gone bad type deal. Like, she looks like she's going to be the villain or some sort of rival against yours in the story mode. And again, depending on how far you've beaten the storyline, whether, you know, Callie's still a bad guy or you've beaten it and now she's back on the good guy team or something like that. Regardless of where you are in that, it's still, how could she be still the news anchor for your game if she's off here? And it didn't, you know, canonically it didn't make sense. And for some reason I never put that together when I was like reading and watching a lot of Splatoon 2's promotional stuff. I kind of just assumed that Callie and Marie are going to be the people or the Inklings that always invite us back into Inkopolis. They welcome us back into that world every time you play the game. And that, I don't know, it made sense to me, and I thought that was going to be a thing, that they're going to keep them around. But I guess I was wrong. And honestly, I'm okay that I was wrong, because I think these two new sisters, I mean, already people are totally in love with these two characters. And I think their designs, just like Callie and Marie, are super strong here. Perhaps even more strong than Callie and Marie, because if you put them one-to-one, Callie and Marie anyways, they are very similar. They have, I mean, there are obviously big differences between clothing and their primary color being the green versus the pink. Their hairstyles are obviously different, they got different faces. They're obviously distinguished, but they are visually still similar. Like, their clothing is very similar to one another. While the new sisters, the Off the Hook gang, they are very drastically different than one another. Marina is much more taller, she's much more sleek and wearing like the little crop top and like the black clothing. Then on the other hand, you have Pearl. She's much shorter, she's more pale or fair-skinned, she's got the white inkling hair or the pink rose gold going to it, making these two very drastically different than one another. Obviously, Callie and Marie were different, but they, design-wise, they're still kind of similar in a way, but the point to be made is these two new sisters are super different than each other, you know. The thing that made the original Squid Sisters so loved is their personalities and their little banter between each other when they would announce new stages, talk about Splatfest and stuff like that, and just really, their personalities really shine through. I mean, one more than the other, but we won't get into how, you know, Team Marie's better. But it added a lot of fun to something that really, all of it was really, they could have just made it a, you know, Nintendo could have easily just said, okay, these are the stages you're playing on. They didn't have to have some sort of news update with these two little characters. And then fans fell in love with it because of that. And these characters, we only saw them as much as we did is because through the little, every time you log in, there'd be a little update, hey, here are the stages we're playing right now. And they'd have a little, like, you know, they talk about the shopping mall if you went there, like, oh, I forgot to pick up my thing, you know, and stuff like that. And they'd go back and forth, you know. And then as well as Splatfest, when they would talk about what team they're going to go on, they'd be like, you know, oh yeah, cats rule, no, dogs are better. They'd have a very polite and friendly banter back and forth talking about it and getting you hyped for this Splatoon Splatfest. And even people chose sides against sisters at one point to where it became the final Splatfest, where it was Team Callie versus Team Marie. So anyways, talking about these new sisters, already off the bat, people are choosing sides on teams of Team Marina or Team Pearls, like right off the bat. And I mean, it was as expected, you know, and it's making a divide in the community. An unfair divide. I actually kind of feel bad for Pearl, almost in a way. But one thing that's new about their new update formula, I guess, because you do see in this Splatoon 2 Global Testfire, what's it called, Splatfest premiere launch demo. When you first log on and you beat the little tutorial or whatever, you actually go and you see an update from the Off the Hook sisters. And I didn't expect that. I don't know why. I didn't expect it to be so fleshed out of a, you know, just another demo for Splatoon 2. And of course, we get a nice taste of their personalities right off the bat, besides what because initially all we saw was their visual and their appearance. And just design-wise, people chose based on that, which there's nothing wrong with that. But we didn't really know what their personality like Callie and Marie. I mean, we got to love and know these characters through their personality and stuff. Obviously, one you might like one design of one over the other, but it was their personality that made you fall in love with these characters. So getting a first taste at these two before the game comes out is really fantastic. And honestly, I have to say, Splatoon 2, I think, does the newscasting better already than Splatoon 1. Like, honestly, and there's only one thing that I love about it, and it just totally changes the experience of the news updates. The fact that when they're kind of bantering back and forth about Team Cake versus Team Ice Cream, there's one section where they kind of zoom in on whichever sister is talking, and basically give them like a framed portrait shot to give emphasis on what they're trying to say. Something that the original Squid Sisters never did. Whenever they talk, it'd be a stationary camera the whole time. And when it comes to news updates, that's what they usually do. If there's two people on screen, they'll go back and forth to their conversations. And it's more realistic, I guess, in a way, but I think it makes it a lot more personal. I don't know why it affected me so much, but just seeing them up close and getting centralized attention to one specific character, rather than seeing both at the same time, and one taking a quick jab at the other, and the other one doing a quick reaction to that, and jabbing right back, you know, and all playful, of course. Like, I don't know, I think it's a lot more immersive, I guess the word is. It's more impactful, I guess, for lack of a better word anyways. I really like that it zooms out on the character, because then you can really emphasize on what they're saying there, and the line with Marina saying, paraphrasing of course, but ice cream takes, like, effort and time to make. Any schmo can go to the store and buy a bag of cake mix. Roasted, baby! I don't know, like, that alone really amplified the experience of these news updates, and I'm curious to see how they'll be in the full game and how they'll incorporate those in the future. Will it be like every time you log on it's going to be a news update, or it'll interrupt gameplay just like the original? But honestly, already I'm totally in love with these characters from just the one segment I saw of these two. And the writing for these characters already is fantastic. Holy cow, like the amount of personality in these characters already are so fantastic. Like how, for example, Pearl says, or it's Pearl, I guess, Pearly, she says that ice cream is basically just frozen milk. And, you know, poor Marina gets all, like, sad and, like, a little self-conscious, being like, no, it's totally not frozen milk. For some reason, it left a big impact on me. And then, obviously, she throws in that quick fire to totally rebound that hot spit she's throwing out. And already, I have to say, just from that one conversation I've seen of these two, I don't know, I almost feel like the banter, or at least the writing of these characters and the personalities of them, are almost better than the original Squid Sisters. So like I said at the beginning, I was kind of on the fence that the fact that Splatoon, the Squid Sisters, kind of got pushed to the side. They're more going to be in the solo campaign. Or, I guess a better way to put it is they're not in the spotlight like they were in Splatoon 1. And it made me sad for that. But at the same time, it's like, we're moving on, and I already am absolutely in love with these two new sisters. Specifically Marina. She is, I have an unhealthy obsession with that freaking, I have an unhealthy obsession with that freaking Octarian. I don't know why. I have an unhealthy obsession with that freaking Octoling. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me. But even beyond that, like, their designs are fantastic, like I've said. Their personalities are outstanding, even just, like I said, from the one conversation. And I think it's just because how they do the camera work of their segments that really adds more weight to what they're saying. So for when it comes to Squid Sisters versus the Off the Hook Sisters, I still love the Squid Sisters for what they are and what they represent, being the Splatoon 1. But I think it's like a new chapter and a new era of Splatoon. And I'm actually looking forward to these new sisters to take us into this new game in the franchise, you know. At first, like I said, I was really like sad, but at the same time, like we're kind of they still are there and they have a huge impact in the story mode of the game, and they're still gonna be around. And I'm really excited to see these new characters get an emphasis and potentially, hopefully, amiibo someday. Like the Callie and Marie ones are fantastic, and Splatoon has a huge array of unique character designs, like Krusty Sean, freaking Crayman, the little crayfish that floats over. Oh gosh, the one hat shop lady, can't remember her name for some reason. Can you imagine amiibo of him, like straight up? They have almost 6 variants of Inklings, and then 3 variants of the Squid itself as amiibo. And obviously those are the emphasis characters that you play as, but I would love to see amiibos of the more unique cast within the game, specifically these Off the Hook sisters. They're fantastic. But in the end, it's a really split issue to me. I have to obviously keep my reservations till the full game to see who I love the most, but if I had to give a listing of all 4 right now, I might have to go, I think honestly, Marina is going to go #1 by a long shot already. and then probably Marie, yeah baby. And then I guess Callie, and then, sorry Pearls, you're at the bottom. But what is your ranking for the Squid Sisters and the Off the Hook Sisters? Definitely let me know in the comments. This is a really divisive issue, and I see both sides. I do kind of miss the Squid Sisters, but I really like the emphasis of these new characters. And like I said, I'm unhealthily in love with Marina already. I don't know what's wrong with me. I really don't. But definitely let me know in the comments where you stand on this issue. Give this video a big, awesome like. If you haven't already, subscribe for tons on Splatoon 2, and tons of freaking Nintendo Switch coverage. I have tons of plans to do more Splatoon content throughout even this week and upcoming to the game. And once the game's launched, of course, with the review, tons of live streams of you guys playing. Currently, we like to stream at 3 p.m. Pacific on Fridays and 1 p.m. on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. And I plan on, of course, streaming with you guys and playing Splatoon together. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I hope you guys would join us for that. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are just fantastic. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.